Today's story begins by showing a couple whose intentions don't seem right at all. In fact, today the two of them are planning to rob a grocery store, and they are fully prepared for it. However, even after looting the entire store, the couple is still not satisfied because the girl notices a box kept behind the cashier and insists that it be opened. The cashier warns her not to open it, saying that it does not contain what she thinks it does. But greed has taken over the couple, and they open the box anyway. Suddenly, the sound of a gunshot is heard. The scene then cuts straight to a deserted forest, where a frightened young woman is wandering alone. No one knows how long she has been roaming here, starving. She has no one with her, no family, no support. No one knows what she went through in her past that led her to this condition. At that moment, she sees a small wooden cabin in front of her and immediately goes inside. There, she finds a bag full of food supplies. Whatever she can get her hands on, she starts eating desperately. But suddenly, she hears a terrifying sound from outside. Someone is approaching the cabin. Out of fear, she hides under a bed inside the cabin. Soon, a man enters the cabin holding an axe. We do not see his face. He picks up his food bag and quietly leaves. The girl remains hidden, trembling in fear. After some time passes, she decides that she must leave this place and tries to run away. Suddenly, she collides with the same man. His name is Tom. Instead of hurting her, he actually helps her. Realizing what she did, the girl apologizes for stealing food from his bag and explains that she had been starving for 2 days. She then tells him that her car broke down on the road. Her husband went to a nearby petrol pump to get help, but has not returned yet. Coincidentally, Tom's car is also broken, and he has been stuck there for 3 days. Hearing this, the girl panics and says she must leave. Maybe her husband has come back. Tom agrees to go with her, but when they reach the spot, there is no one there. So they leave a note and return to the cabin with some warm clothes. At night, the temperature drops drastically. Tom tells her to cover herself with a blanket she brought from the car. She cannot understand why her husband would leave her alone in such a dangerous forest instead of taking her with him. She then reveals that she is pregnant, which is why he might have done so. Hearing this, Tom tells her to sleep on the bed while he sleeps on the floor. Before sleeping, he gives her drinking water that he fetched from a nearby lake. Strangely, when he goes back the next day, the lake has completely disappeared. There is no sign of it. Confused by these strange events, they both go to sleep. During the night, the girl has a terrible nightmare, causing her to wake up early in the morning. Tom is nowhere to be seen. When she goes outside, she finds an unconscious girl with white hair lying on the ground. She quickly brings her into the cabin. Meanwhile, Tom is siphoning fuel from his car so he can put it into the girl's car and help them escape. When the white-haired girl regains consciousness, we recognize her as Jody, the same girl who robbed the grocery store. But how did she end up here? Seeing the girl, Jody assumes she is some dangerous woman and that this place belongs to her. The girl explains everything, but Jody does not fully believe her and angrily leaves the cabin. At that moment, Tom is returning with the fuel when suddenly 2 gunshots are fired. He is so frightened that he drops the fuel. He shouts to see if anyone is around, but there is no one. He returns to the cabin and sees the unknown girl, Jody, with the pregnant woman. Jody explains that she had a fight with her boyfriend, and he left her alone here and went away. Now, she wants to go back home. Hearing her story, Tom allows her to stay, but on one condition: she must help them with daily chores. The next day, conversations and bonding begin, and a friendship starts to form between the two women. But Tom's troubles are far from over. He notices something strange. The farther he tries to go from the location, the closer he ends up getting to the same cabin. No matter what direction he takes, he keeps coming back to the same place. Disturbed by this, he returns and tells them that something is wrong with this place and that they must leave. But first, he wants to know where they were actually going and what place this really is. The pregnant woman says her husband told her this place was New Hampshire. Jody claims it is Dakota. Tom says he was on a route near Los Angeles. Now they all realize that they are in serious trouble. Tom decides that the next morning they will travel as far as they can to find help or escape this place. That night, Tom and Jody both have the same strange dreams, someone injecting them with a needle. The pregnant woman has a similar dream filled with pain and suffering. In the morning, they pack their belongings and start walking. During the journey, the pregnant woman shares parts of her past with Jody, how her mother died while giving birth to her, and how she grew up in an orphanage. Suddenly, Jody trips over something and falls. At the same moment, a bundle of cash falls from her clothes. Tom is shocked and asks where she got so much money. Jody says it is her own savings, which she kept with her boyfriend, and she took it when leaving. The pregnant woman notices the object Jody tripped over it is a metal handle. When Tom breaks it open with his axe, they discover a hidden German bunker filled with war equipment and canned food bearing Nazi symbols. The pregnant woman explains that her father fought in the war and such items used to come and go in their home. Tom takes all the cans outside and they move on. But the problem remains. They once again end up near the same cabin. According to them, they had been walking straight, yet somehow they returned to the same place. That night, all three have dinner together. Later, the two women talk, and Jody finally confesses that she steals because she has nothing else to do. She is uneducated. The pregnant woman asks if she can see the stolen money again, as she has never seen so much cash before. Jody happily shows it to her. But the pregnant woman laughs because the money is stamped with the year 1984. To her, it seems impossible. It feels like the money is from the future. Jody says she actually lives in 1984, while the pregnant woman insists that the current year is 1964. Everything now feels completely bizarre. They realize that they are in the same place, but from different timelines. When Tom is asked which year he is from, he replies, 2011. After hearing this, the two women tell him their entire story. At first, Tom thinks it is a joke, but seeing the seriousness in their words, he understands that something is terribly wrong. Suddenly, gunshots are heard again outside. When they look, they see an unknown man holding a gun. They desperately need help. So Tom steps outside and tells them they are in trouble. The man starts speaking in German, which Tom does not understand. But he realizes that the man is ordering him to throw away the axe. Tom obeys. When he opens his eyes again, all three of them are imprisoned. The German man has disappeared. Now, they finally begin to understand that perhaps they have all traveled through time. All three of them are trapped, and the mysterious German man is gone. So then, Samantha, the one from the oldest timeline, has time travel become possible? Become possible, Tom replied. No, nothing like that had been invented. After a while, the German man returned and untied Tom's ropes. He dragged him outside, beat him brutally, and finally tied him to a tree. Then he came back inside and started questioning the two girls who they were and where they had come from. Suddenly his eyes fell on Jody's locket, and he began asking about it. Samantha was the only one who understood German, so she explained that the locket belonged to Jody's mother and that she herself had the exact same one. Enraged, the German man pulled out the same locket from around his own neck. Inside it was a woman's photograph that looked exactly like Samantha's mother. Things now started becoming even more disturbing. But stay with us, because the ending will shake you to the core. The German man brought both girls outside. Samantha asked Tom whether he also had a similar locket, but Tom denied it. Meanwhile, the stranger had forgotten that Tom had already freed himself. In the next moment, the stranger was tied up in the same condition in which he had kept the three of them. The three of them stood there, lost in confusion, because the puzzle was slowly starting to make sense. Samantha said that the picture inside the man's locket was of her mother. Tom refused to believe it. But when Jody said that the woman in the picture was her grandmother, Tom was stunned. That was when the unknown man's identity was revealed. Samantha told them his name he was Hansenman, who was actually her father. But that wasn't all. When Samantha asked Jody her date of birth, she replied, June 3rd, 1964, the exact same day Jody's mother had died while giving birth to her. And that daughter was none other than Jody herself. Shocking, isn't it? Entire cabin fell into a stunned silence. Everyone was shaken to the core. When Samantha learned that her husband had actually died in the war, she burst into tears and ran out of the cabin. But another secret was yet to be revealed. Outside, Tom told Jody that her mother was actually a thief. Jody refused to believe it, saying her mother never had any such locket. Tom replied that she did have the same locket, it was just kept at home. He explained that Jody's mother was a thief who, along with her husband Kevin, used to rob gas station grocery stores. One day, she killed her own husband, and for that crime, she was sentenced to death by hanging. This bitter truth was unbearable for Jody. She couldn't take it and walked out of the cabin as well. Outside, she went to the heartbroken Samantha. The bond between mother and daughter now felt completely different and had changed. Samantha was devastated after learning that she would die while giving birth to her daughter. Her entire world had collapsed. Still, she was relieved that her daughter survived and believed that her grandparents would take care of her. But Jody revealed that her grandparents had been extremely abusive and kept her starving. That was why she had run away from home at a very young age. Hearing this, Samantha broke down. She rushed back into the cabin, explained everything to Hansen, man her father, and tried to free him. Tom tried to stop her, warning that the man was dangerous. But Samantha was certain that her father would never hurt her. However, the moment he was freed, Hansenman grabbed his gun and clothes and ran away. At that point, Samantha remembered her terrifying dream again, dying while giving birth because her husband Adam was at war and the ambulance arrived too late. Tom then shared his own nightmare, a dream in which he shot a priest who had abused him and then shot himself afterward. Finally, it was Jody's turn. She remembered the day she was executed by hanging. Now all three of them knew one terrifying truth. They were all destined to die, and they even knew how they would die. But they weren't dead yet. That meant their past could still be changed. That was why Tom immediately led them to the German bunker. He believed that everything had started after Hansenman's death, so the first step was to stop it. Samantha revealed that her father had died on May 14th in Poland during an airstrike, and today was May 14th, and the place they were standing in was Poland itself. That meant they still had a chance. Tom reasoned that if Hansenman didn't die, Samantha wouldn't remarry. That would mean her husband would be home and could take her to the hospital during labor, saving her life. So Tom rushed to find Hansenman, who was inside the cabin trying to establish a radio connection. The radio wasn't working. Samantha warned him about the airstrike. But he refused to listen and tried to flee. Tom tried desperately to stop him, but in the struggle, a terrible mistake happened. Hansenman fired a shot, and the bullet hit Jody directly. Hansenman escaped, while Tom and Samantha carried the wounded Jody back into the cabin. Tom was in complete panic. If Jody died, he would never be born. He had to stop this at any cost. Saying this, he ran after Hansenman. Meanwhile, Samantha did everything she could to keep her daughter alive. That is why God never gave humans the power to see their own future, because they would start interfering with the natural order, and the consequences could be disastrous. Tom managed to track Hansenman, but he kept slipping away. One thing became clear. No matter where he ran, he always ended up back near the same cabin. So Tom went there too. Now the two stood face to face. Hansenman fired multiple shots at Tom, but none of them hit him because Tom's very existence was beginning to fade. Just as Jody was taking her last breaths, her soul leaving her body, Tom's existence was also disappearing. And then the moment came when Tom vanished completely because Jody had died. Seeing this, Samantha was filled with rage toward her father. He had destroyed not only his own life, but the lives of future generations as well. Only now did Hansenman finally believe everything she had said, but it was too late. Russian planes appeared in the sky and bombs began to fall. While fleeing, Samantha was badly injured. Her father carried her into the bunker. Slowly, Samantha's existence also began to fade because Hansenman had survived. He did not die at the moment he was originally meant to die. That meant everything would now be corrected, but one thing would still not change. You'll find out what that is in a moment. The scene shifts back to the very beginning of the story, but this time, everything is different. Jody enters the same grocery store, but now as a rich, educated woman living a completely different life. When she steps outside, she sees Kevin about to commit the same crime, but this time with a new girlfriend. This means Tom will never be born because Jody and Kevin never met. And this happened because Samantha is still alive, which we see in the next scene. She is holding her father's ashes and respectfully paying tribute to him in 1964. Then once again, we return to the grocery store, where Kevin's new girlfriend, Amelie has looted everything. But even she isn't satisfied. Her greed takes over, and her eyes fall on the box behind the cashier. She insists on opening it. The cashier warns her that if she opens it, nothing can be fixed anymore. But she doesn't listen. A gunshot is heard, and with that, the story comes to an end. Friends, this is an incredible story that completely twists your mind. Do let us know in the comments how you liked it. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.